Welcome to the Epic Success Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Shannon Irvine. I'm joking around lately saying, do you need a doctor for your business? And my question I want to ask you today is it time to uplevel your mindset? And I want to talk to you about the 10 questions you should ask yourself to know if it's a strategy problem that is stopping your business, stopping your growth, or if it's a mindset issue. And here's the thing. I will see constantly with people that are growing their business trying to solve mindset blocks with strategy. And I did this myself. I can tell you there was a point where my husband and I sat down and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, Shannon, you've spent over $100,000 this month on strategy, on courses and programs and, YouTube and all the different things. But is this changing what you actually needed changing? And boy, that question really hit home for me back then and honestly, it was part of what led me to go and really uncover the science of success, to really see how does the brain allow a result to happen. But it started with that question because I had so much shame around. I kept trying something. I'd get a little blip. Do you know what I mean? I'd get some results, but not consistent enough results. And then I felt like I would be starting back at zero again. And if you are in that, I call that the entrepreneur treadmill, where you're trying all the strategies that marketers are sharing. And the reality is, there's the news flash. Like, to get to multiple seven figures, you just need one good, solid strategy and then maximize it. But a lot of times I'll have people ask me, is this a business growth problem or is this a mindset problem? And you can't find me a 7-figure or an 8-figure entrepreneur that has gotten to where they are without them telling you their number one thing that changed. Put me to the test. Go out there and try to find one and let me know. The market, they might tell you that it's the marketing that got them there, but when you ask them one-on-one, what really was the linchpin to get you to 7 figures and beyond, it was them changing how they thought. Changing how they thought about money, worth, enoughness, potential, ability, all those things. In fact, my dear friend James Wedmore says, what got you here won't get you there. And boy, is that true. So I thought about the questions I started asking myself when I began this obsession around not just trying to uplevel my mindset, but literally changing my brain so that it stops working against me, getting rid of those old stories that pump the brakes on my business and your business. And how do you really know? Is this just, double down on a strategy and you're fine and your thinking is going to get you there? Or how do you know if your thinking is actually the very thing, while your foot is on the gas of your strategy, your foot is on the brake and it's literally making you spin in circles? And here's what I need you to know before we get into this list is that when you have your mindset stopping you, blocking you, slowing you down, it's not even your fault. That mindset, it's mindset, but it's your subconscious patterns of mindset. That was developed when you were a young adult or a child. The repetitions in your world around you, around money, worth, enoughness, ability, capacity, what you saw in your family of origin around what money was, what money isn't, what it created. Some people have families that they have lots of money, but they never spend any time with their family. I have a friend, one of my clients that was like that. And so every time she started making money, she would slide back down because that meant she was going to be a bad parent. Some of us think money is the root of all evil. And so that when we start making a little bit, we do other things to sabotage it. So why? This is the question that I led myself to, that began an obsession that started with getting a mentor and finding out that mentor just thought differently than me. No strategies were different. She just thought differently about the strategies. Her mindset was different. And that began the obsession with the neuroscience of success, which created ultimately our Sync NeuroCoach model that we coach through, and really the ability from the inside the mind to build a 7-figure mindset so that your brain stops working against you. But it all started with me asking these questions. Is it a mindset issue or a strategy issue? So I want to share these 10 with you. And then at the end, I'm going to let you know, I won't leave you hanging on like, what do I do next if this is me? Because we got something cool coming up for you. Okay, so number one, do you have doubts when your business isn't getting the sales, the clients, the exposure? Do you have doubts that sound like this? Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I don't deserve it. So each one of these questions, I just want you to answer on a piece of paper, yes or no. Yes or no. So, maybe you've gotten to 6 figures, but literally you've been like spinning there at that 6-figure mark, trying to use other tactics to get up to 7, but really seeing no real substantial growth. And then that conversation in your mind might look like, well, I can get to here, but I don't have the potential to get to there. So do you hear yourself saying that when the sales aren't there, when the launch is performing at a different level than you would hope? Do you tell yourself, maybe I don't have what it takes, or maybe what I had to have what it takes to get here, but not there? So that's question number one. Question number two, and this comes from like an identity block. And this is a question around, maybe I'm not cut out for this. So sometimes when we load too many strategies, right? And it's like we're chasing 10 cats at the same time. And if you've ever bought a lot of different strategic type things and then you try to do them all at once, you might get to the overwhelmed place of, I'm not sure if I'm cut out for this. I'm not sure I have the ability to do this. I'm just not cut out for it. So if you've ever had that thought rolling around in your mind, and then you just, keep pushing and you keep going, but the thought floated through your mind, that's question number two. Question number three is around sales and money, because to me, it's all of your mindset works together. It's not a separate money mindset that's separate from your potential mindset, that's separate from your ability mindset. It's all of those things create your identity mindset, right? And so you have an identity in your mind, hardwired in your subconscious. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So question number three, do you tell yourself at times that money is hard to make, or it's scarce, or it's elusive, or you don't have enough of it? That's question number three, just a yes or a no question. I'll start going quicker in this. Question number four, when you're thinking about money or sales, do you feel like it's hard to keep? Like you can make it, but it's really hard to keep it, and you spend it faster than it comes in. These are all conversations about what your mind has wired in relationship to money that you didn't create. It's not your fault, but it has to be up-leveled. Yes. So that's question four. Yes or no? Question five, when you know what to do, like I know if I get on this stage, I know if I do this live, I know that if I do this webinar, whatever it is, do you find yourself, and I'm going to call this entrepreneur procrastination. We don't procrastinate like real human beings, other human beings. We procrastinate very actively. So what I mean by procrastination, and in terms of an entrepreneur procrastination, that this is actually a mindset, is we'll go do the busier things, the check it off the list things, the add it to the bottom of the list that I just did so that I can check it off kind of thing. We'll procrastinate actively. I mean, we'll go over and fix our kids' whole year's calendar, or we'll go in and we'll do a year's worth of social media. But what we're actually doing is avoiding the thing that makes us most nervous, that we're afraid will fail. So that's either a yes or no. Do I do that or do I not do that? Entrepreneur procrastination. Or the flip side of that coin is, do you know that very thing that will really move the needle, but makes you so nervous to do, to reach out to take that leap? And instead of doing that, you go work on your landing page or your sales emails ad nauseum and never actually go put the thing out. That's perfectionism in terms of a term, but that is actually your brain serving you neurochemicals to make that happen. And I'm not going to deep dive on that in the podcast. It's part of our fight or flight system. And so generally speaking, you either have a proclivity to one or the other, procrastination, entrepreneur procrastination, which is active, or perfectionism. But either one of those two are a mindset that is hardwired to have you avoid the things that can actually move the business to the next level. Foot on the gas, foot on the brake. Makes sense? So that's question number 5 or number 6. Do I go and make something perfect and never put it out there? So question number 7 is, at any level, do I have imposter syndrome? Whether it's seeing other people win and feeling like that can't ever happen for me, I'm not enough. This is the enoughness part of the identity mindset. Or is it you seeing people above you and you feel like, I could never be at that level. I'm not sure who's going to listen to me. Even if you have a 6-figure business, you might have been on the hustle and willpower and get it to 6-figure. But when you're starting to look at 7 figures, you're like, no one in our family has ever done this. I don't know if I can do this. I feel like an imposter. If you've ever had that thought run through your mind, put yes on question number 7. Question number 8, and this is probably more for those who have had a little bit of a level of success, but maybe feel stuck. So it's the conversation in our head of, I feel stuck. I feel like I don't know what to do next. I have 10 choices, but I can't decide. I feel stuck. I feel like I don't know. So if you've ever had that thought come up to you, if your brain's ever given you that thought, I'm stuck, I don't know, then put yes for question number 8. And question number 9 is, have you ever told yourself, I don't have clarity. I can't see the right next step. So therefore, I'm not sure if I can do it. I need clarity. And so therefore I stop. These are the stopping mechanisms of the identity. So have you ever told yourself, and question number 9, I can't see where I need to go. I'm not clear. I don't know. And then you start searching out answers to that, but all the answers are mirrors or mimics of what you already have done, right? They're nothing new. There's something that is just another tactic or a strategy, but not actually stretching you into the identity of the person that can get to that next level first, so that it becomes a magnet versus pushing the boulder uphill. And then number 10 is like, have you ever told yourself, I might not be enough for this. Like, I don't know if I have the capacity. Maybe I've lived, this is good enough. It's the good enough question. Have you ever said to yourself, like, oh, I'm doing well. I'm good right here. I don't need to really push it, right? That's our brain's way of keeping things safe and familiar. So those are the 10 questions. Do you have doubts that your business isn't going to get it? Do you tell yourself you're not cut out for it? As sales, number 3 is it hard to make? All the way down, yeses and nos. And if you have more than 2 or 3 yeses, that you have said those things to yourself, and it's not like you're telling yourself these things all the time. It's just when you go to stretch yourself this direction that you hear the thought, and it might take you out into entrepreneur procrastination or perfectionism or feeling overwhelmed or having and that imposter syndrome that slows you down. If you look at each one of these questions, it's like your foot, without your knowledge or permission, by the way, pumping the brakes of the very success that you want so much for you, for your family, for your freedom, for the ability to be in control and have options and be the example for your family. We want that so bad. But these brake pedal beliefs, by the way, you didn't choose them. You did not create them. They were created in your environment of origin, and you can completely eliminate them. So if you said yes to a lot of them, then it is time to uplevel your mindset. Let's not play around with trying to push, hustle, and strive more, because that's leading to burnout, my friend. And I do not want that for you, because it's not going to actually move the needle. What moves the needle is having your brain work for you. training in a 7-figure mindset so that it becomes the strongest magnet possible to pull you to that place versus you pushing to that place. And to truly, when you do those two things, your identity shifts, right? When your identity shifts, you literally, we say this in our world all the time, can create like a year's worth of goals in like 67 days. Your brain will allow that, but it won't allow it doing everything you've always done, hoping you can get there. It's time to up-level that mindset. And so I've got great news for you. We're opening up our boot camp that we only do once, maybe twice a year, called the Unleashed Entrepreneur. And in this 3-day boot camp, we're going to do just this. Look, you owe it to yourself. If you said yes to one of these things, then it's at a minimum slowing you down. If you said yes to 2 or more, it's not just slowing you down. It's literally pumping the brakes on that vision, those goals, those dreams, those desires. And it's so simple to take your foot off the brake. Even though neuroscience and the brain is complex, the process in which you have your brain work for you instead of against you, the process in removing those old stories and replacing them with a new one to up-level your identity is as simple as building with 4 big chunky Legos. So that is great news. So down in the show notes, you can go to sign up for the boot camp. It's called the Unleashed Entrepreneur Boot Camp. And we are going to be deep diving the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday together. It's an immersive experience. You will leave that experience with a up level of your mindset, and things will start to move in the direction of your goals and your vision of your dreams so much faster, because once you up level this, you literally collapse time. So I hope this podcast has inspired you to be this is the season to really flip your brain success switch on and no longer have the desires and the dreams working in opposition to how your brain is wired. Let's flip the success switch on and literally up level you in those 3 days together. So click the link below. Make sure you join us for the Unleashed Entrepreneur Bootcamp. And I see you there. I cannot wait to do this with you and see you just become unleashed. All right. That's what I have for you this week on the Epic Success Podcast. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.